Greetings, coaches. This week's lesson, we're working on some attacks for Saber, obviously, from the 4-meter lines, from the on-guard lines. And this is the part that a lot of fencers and coaches have questions about, and especially folks that don't do a lot of Saber. It seems kind of weird or mysterious to them. And so I'm working with this student, Bennett, who's about 14, and has had a huge growth spurt this year. So he's got a lot of body control that he's working into figuring out. And we're working on attacking with just a basic advanced lunge in the box. And what we've got here is starting out with a little task simplification. And so what I have is him starting a little bit past the on-guard line, and he's supposed to match me. And his front foot's not supposed to cross the middle line right now. That's to create a little bit of a boundary for him in terms of how deep he's stepping, how big he's stepping, and getting his arm and his footwork and his cut all coordinated correctly in relationship with the coach, or their opponent, which is pretty difficult. It takes a lot of repetitions, takes some time and patience to do this. You see now I've pushed him back to the 4 meters, and he did a little bit better job there with the coordination. And we're, just giving really short, very quick verbal cues on some small technical things that he can start to improve on. And mostly it's related to the coordination of him getting his tip out there, getting his arm to shoot out towards the target. And so I'm using some external type cues, which means I'm telling him to, let his tip shoot towards the target as quick as he can, and just trying to come up with some different analogies on a couple different ways of explaining it to him so that it can start to resonate, to really get that timing down so that he can be in time in relationship to me. So let's check in on this next rep and see how that's going. Oops, a little bit of a flinch. This type of focus and body control is very important. 1, 2. So getting a sense of kind of feeling out that rhythm is critical. All right, so now we're moving into a little bit of what's called skill or task decomposition. So all fencing skills can really be categorized as what's called a discrete skill, which is something that's got a very distinct start and finish. And then serial skills, which are combinations of 2 or more discrete skills. And most of our fencing actions tend to be of the serial skill nature. And so when you start breaking things down into their parts, sometimes it can create a little bit of confusion for the fencer, and they're not sure how all those pieces fit together. And so what we did in that last segment was just work on just the step to help ground his timing, bring awareness to it. You see these last couple reps, he's doing a much better job in terms of starting, matching, bringing a little bit of power. And, you're going to observe there's a lot of variations from rep to rep for Bennett because he's 14. He just started competing this year, and he's learning on how his body works and how to adjust. Again, those just short, quick verbal cues and visual cues to help him. Real important we don't distract the fencers with too much. All right, so there we added a unforeseen action where he has to take the extra step. And this is also super important if you ever watched Saber fencers just rush off the line and attack and miss, and their coaches on the sidelines kind of cringing. This is where they start to have to recognize, when to complete their attack in the box or when their opponent has stopped and they can take the extra step. Boom. And that rhythm change from that first step into the advanced lunge fits in with our theme this week that we're really working on that rhythm change. And Bennett does have a good ability to do this. As I said earlier, he's just had a huge growth spurt. He's figuring out how to move his body and stay in balance. Boom. That was one of his better reps. You'll see he spot a few little errors here and there. But compared to the beginning of this segment to now, he's showing a lot of nice improvement. Like that rhythm change there, and he just lost a little bit of body control at the end to really finish with power. So, helping him realize his length, using my body to kind of show him what the opponent looks like, when they're shifting their balance, and then he has the ability to finish very deep. Boom, there you go. And these fall under, what I would call our first intention, open eyes attacks. He's got to be able to attack in the box with that single advanced lunge and then he's got to also look to see when to take the extra step. And this part, I'm testing his ability to really see. And, for me, he did an excellent job there. Some stuff we're going to work on next time, but he was able to recognize that when I moved farther away, that he needed to slow down a little bit, catch his balance, and then change rhythm and explode with that attack. So hopefully that helps some of y'all in terms of understanding different types of ways to structure lessons, provide feedback, and then, give a good base for people who want to learn how to start that matching process